Okay, so this is an optional crash course on basic Unix commands. If you are familiar with these commands, I'll run through them very quickly. Things like ls and pwd and cd and touch and mkdir, make dir, rm-rf. If you know those commands already, or you're familiar enough with them, then I would just skip the next 3 videos, right? You can always come back to these. They have nothing to do with Git on their own, but they play a very important role. And if you are not familiar with them, if you're new to the terminal, 100% stick it out through these videos. I know it's not the most exciting thing on earth, but let's be honest, neither is Git. It's very important, but it's not the sexiest topic. So the reason this all matters is that I'll be teaching Git primarily from the command line. So I'll be doing things like, just as an example, everyone, I'm going to move into this folder here. And to do that, I would use the cd command, which we have not yet discussed. And then in here, I'd like to make a new file called, my app.js file. And then we'll run some git command in here, do some git stuff. Again, haven't talked about any of this, but I'll do things like that. And then we'll run another command, and then we'll back out. The point is that we'll be navigating through the terminal, moving to different locations, different folders, manipulating files, making changes, deleting, creating things, and then interacting with Git from here. We'll run commands that are specific to Git and the folder that we're in. So if you are comfortable with those basic commands I've already laid out, skip the next few videos. If you're not familiar, don't freak out. This is stuff that it's easy, but it takes a bit of time for it to really stick. The hardest part is remembering the commands. So I recommend you just put some sticky notes up or a cheat sheet just to come back to these commands. No one's expecting you to know them by heart after 3 videos. It takes a while for my bootcamp students, in person at least, to start working with these commands like they're second nature. Because they're not. It's kind of a horrible interface. But you force yourself to use it and you'll get comfortable. Last thing I'll say is if you're on a Mac, I'll be using the terminal app. And if you're using a Windows machine, as we installed Git, we set up Git bash. So my screen will look like this on the Windows side. Either one, right? The commands are 99.9% identical. So if you see me do a command like ls on the Windows side or on the Mac side, they both are going to do the same thing. All right. So let's get started. Remember, completely optional, but I highly recommend sticking it out through these videos. If you don't know the terminal commands, if you don't know the basic Unix commands that I quickly ran through, cd, touch, make directory, rm, ls, pwd, those are going to be pretty important for the rest of the course so that we can work with Git. All right, I'll shut up. Let's get started.